So I've been wanting to see this film for a long time, and finally yesterday I went to the cinema and I finally saw this film. This is the film student here, and today I am going to be reviewing Mad Max Fury Road. So I'm not going to get too much into the plot of this film because I think it's better not to know that much about the plot. But basically it's a post-apocalypse world and there's no longer any government. So it is whoever is the most powerful is in charge. Mad Max is reduced to one instinct: survive. I should say straight off, this film is a brilliant action movie. However, if you, for some reason, do not like action movies, do not go and see this film. You will hate this movie if you do not like action. I think a good way to describe this film would be as a roller coaster. At first it's a lot of fun, but by the end of it you might potentially be getting sick after 2 hours. I say potentially because I wasn't, I just would understand if people were. The madness of this film is brilliant. I mean, it is called Mad Max for a reason. These people are mental, and in a way, they kind of want a fight. They aren't someone there who's just kind of like, they've joined the army and they don't really want it or something. This is a pure action movie, and everyone in it wants a fight except for the heroes, really, who just want to escape. And as a result, there is trouble around every single corner. Also, a good thing about this film, it's not this obvious CGI which I can see and I'm obvious, oh yeah, it's so obvious. No, we have cars exploding all over the place. We have trucks which blow up. Now, an important part about an action film can be to make sure that the hero is in danger and that we are worried about them throughout the film. Almost the whole way through, they are in danger. Max starts off being tied up to the front of a car with his blood being poured out whilst they're in a chase. However, another thing to do would be to make sure that when the action does die down, we are still interested in the plotline, we don't get bored. Mad Max also does this very well. We have a lot of conflict between our main characters. So let's get down to the characters created. First of all, Mad Max is a brilliant anti-hero. You see through the editing, the weight which he has on his hands, he's lost all hope. For some reason people are saying that he isn't the main hero of this film. And I mean, that surely isn't possible, is it? I mean, unless of course they were talking about Furiosa. Oh wait, they were talking about Furiosa? Oh yeah, this woman is a sign of hope and she's a proper badass. This woman knows exactly what she's doing and she has more screen time than Mad Max, speaks more. Having said that, there isn't actually that much dialogue included in this film and I don't think it is really even needed that much anyway. There's actually a lot more screaming than dialogue in this movie. I think the character which shows the most madness though is definitely Nicholas Hoult. This guy's mental. You don't know what on earth is going through his mind. Three main characters are actually all very different. One is purely for survival, the other one has hope, and one is just mental. But together through these events, they have to join forces. I find the villain in this movie also incredibly interesting. He has the power over a load of poor people because he has control of water. People need water to survive, so he therefore has control of them. One thing which I think can also be needed in action movies sometimes can be a bit of humour. We kind of need that just to keep us going whilst we're through the action. And I was worried that this film wouldn't have that. It doesn't really, but there is a guy playing a guitar through all the battle, which I thought was brilliant. This kind of goes back to the 80s idea of having a certain music which plays every time the villain comes on. The only difference is actually being played on screen rather than just a sound which is played for only the audience to hear. Visually, this film is also stunning. The colours of the shot, wide shots of it, so I can see all the cars. No shaky cam, that's good. Now, to the feminist argument, I'm not going to get that deep into it because I don't think it's really for me to say. But I will say there is a lot of stuff for feminism, but then we also do have a couple of things which I'd say wouldn't quite go for feminism as much. So I am getting very, very picky here. But personally for me, I don't think Tom Hardy was quite on the level as all the other characters, which might be one reason why it might potentially be seen why Furiosa was the real hero. Also, it can go on for a tiny bit too long. I mean, for me that was kind of fine, but I was exhausted by the end of it, which probably showed that it went on for a tiny bit too long, and I can understand why people would think it went on for too long. As a very, very picky thing, I wouldn't mind maybe knowing a tiny bit more about these characters. I'm not sure whether quite enough was said. Obviously there'll be enough about Mad Max because he's been in 3 films before, but the other 2 characters haven't been in the films, and I generally don't know much about them. But those are very, very picky points. So, at the end of the day, Mad Max is a brilliant film, and I really suggest you go and watch it. I'm going to give it 4.8 out of 5. If you enjoyed Mad Max, or you have any different opinions on it, please comment below, and don't forget to subscribe.